Well, welcome to the Whiskey Vault. I'm Daniel Whittington, Chancellor of Wizard Academy, Whiskey Marketing School, Level 4 Whiskey Sommelier. This is weird. I feel like it's time for the next season, and I think the next season is going to be here. And we're going to start shooting all the different styles of episodes that we do here. So if I'm doing a conversation with somebody, I'll just step to one side or the other, have a conversation with them. If it's something about I've been thinking but it's not whiskey focused, that'll be the same ones that I did at the barrel. And if I'm reviewing something you can't get, hidden drams, gifted drams, that'll all happen here. You're gonna watch this change a little. We like to change the, we like to build airplanes as they fly. That's our version of doing things. So what I was thinking about today was efficiency. And this has been on my mind for a couple of reasons, and the vault is actually one of them. Efficiency. Efficiency is a big company problem, or a big brand problem, or a big budget problem. When you have thousands or hundreds of thousands of customers, or you're filling hundreds of thousands of barrels, then cost of manpower, something being 10% ABV versus 9% ABV before it goes into the still, the angel share, the inefficiencies of just like the things that destroy profitability when they're scaled up times a billion, right? You have to obsess over those. It can be the difference between bankrupting your company and not bankrupting your company, which I've heard is an important ingredient in business. Not bankrupting your company. But what about when you're small? What about when you're a craft distillery? What about when you're a small business, like Wizard Academy is officially? Remember my chat a while back that was the source of your strength is also the source of your greatest weakness? Inefficiency can become a strength when it's your weakness if you're small. Now, this doesn't scale, keep in mind, but when you're small, you can afford to talk one-to-one to your customers. You can afford to interact in a social media channel and actually engage with people. You can afford to make a slightly lower proof beer because the flavor of the yeast strains is going to be more beautiful, and you might only get 180 bottles instead of 345,000 bottles, but it's going to be really specific and magical, and you can tailor every little element of it. That is a beautiful thing because it's human. And when you're a small business or a small creator, you can afford to be human. It's a luxury that you have that the big guys don't have. And too many of the small businesses, small distilleries, small creators spend all their efforts trying to be more efficient and get ready to scale into a huge business. And in reality, they're not in an industry that there's gonna be a huge business. and most people are never gonna get to the level where they need to scale something times 100,000. And I'm gonna talk about what happens to that human connection when you try to. First, I saw this pop up on my social feeds going like, hey, we got a few more of these left, online only. You're never gonna be able to get your hands on this, by the way, unless you're a Single Cask Nation fan and you should buy one before it's sold out. Maybe there's a few bottles left. It's Longmorn 14. Now, you know I love Longmorn, so that's a no-brainer. Longmorn, the distiller's malt. It is, Single Cask Nation is an independent bottler. My friends, I'm gonna call them my friends. Whiskey friends? Can we be whiskey friends? Joshua and Jason, who one of the original American-based single independent bottlers. One of the first independent bottlers to independently bottle American spirits. If not the first, I think they might be the first. And we were within like just a year of us at Crowded Barrel, and them at Crowded Barrel now, at the time me, bottling our first independent bottling of American spirits, but their company predates us, and they are amazing human beings. And so I am not going to be able to be objective about the company because I love them, and I will not be able to be objective about the whiskey because I love Longmorn 14, or Longmorn in general as a distillery. So what does the 14 provide? This is second fill bourbon barrel, which is actually pretty dark for a second fill bourbon barrel. 100, woo, that is malty, weighty. I don't know what I was expecting, but it's darker than I thought it would be. And by darker, I mean like, if this was a vanilla, it's roasted caramel more than it is vanilla cream. If this was earth, it's more wet, damp earth than dry grass and field. It's darker. It's very, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's malty, like a malt shake, not just malt barley, but like malt balls. Malt balls. There is it weird that my brain just said, Nutella? Because there's a creamy chocolatey note in here. Nutella on toast. Which sounds delicious right now, by the way. Oof. Okay, on the palate. Oh, yeah. There's your slight spice, slight cracked pepper. Really deep milk chocolate almost. That Nutella kind of hazelnut chocolate vibe. And then the bready pastry kind of note. Oh, yeah. That might be one of my favorite independent bottled Longmorns I've had in a while. And we have several over there. But this one's really knocking it out of the park. Look at this. I love this thing on the back of the bottle. Bottled for whiskey geeks, for whiskey geeks. Yep, I'm good with that. Okay, so, man, if you ever come to the vault, let me know. If we still have this, I'll pour you some. The worst possible thing you can be for human connection, and by the way, human connection is the lifeblood of a small business. It's really lifeblood of anything. In the age of AI and a whole bunch of human-style tasks being outsourced, the most powerful thing you can do is be vulnerable and flawed and a little broken and human. It stands out from everything. But the thing is, human connection is inconvenient. Full stop. Friendship is incredibly inconvenient. This is why so many people have a hard time making older friends when they're older. Because when you're young, it's easy. You're all in the same dorm, or you go over to your roommate's friend's house, and it's just your social circles are easy, right? But when all of a sudden on a daily schedule of kids and business and work and cleaning and chores and household, you have to carve out time to connect and support people and be in relationship, it's incredibly inconvenient. Makes it really hard. But we forgive big companies and big groups this lack of human connection and inconvenience and so on, because part of our brain knows they're big, and it would be silly to expect Coca-Cola to be your buddy, right? It would be insane to expect Glenmorangie to be your buddy. But man, if you open up a craft distillery and you go in and they don't have any retail space and they only have bottles in the tasting room, and then you get some sort of corporate experience that lacks all humanity, man, is that a turnoff. Man, does that just ruin everything. It destroys faith, it destroys trust, it feels bad, just practically speaking. If you're small, like Wizard Academy is, don't be afraid to be inefficient. As long as you can. You have a superpower, and it is your ability to do things the big guys can't. Because if they tried to be that level of efficient, their margins are so thin, it would turn them upside down instantly. But you can afford, with higher margins and a little more breathing room, to be a little more patient. It's something you should appreciate while you have it. And take advantage of it, because human connection is worth it. People are worth time. Cheers to you. I'm really glad you're here. God, that's good.